Hi everybody, this is Scott from Lexophilia. And just to get one thing out of the way, these, not real. I want to talk today about creating publishable writing working within a theme, which is what Lexophilia asks for. We present a theme and then we get submissions based on that theme. So how do you create material based on a theme that's given to you? The first thing is you have to understand that the themes are designed with lots of interpretations. And if you submit a poem and 100 other people have the same take on the theme, the chances of you being accepted are small. So think about the variety of applications that exist. The second thing, heighten the awareness of your theme in your daily life. I call this jottings. And what I mean by this is, as you go through your regular life, be aware of the way that light shows up. All the different instances, all the different considerations, the different light sources, the different concepts, and just what you experience. My advice is to put it all into your phone, and that way it's all organized in the same place. Okay. The third step is to connect that jottings to the significance. So if you see something out there, if you see a cool sunrise, you have to ask yourself, so what? Why do I bother taking this jotting and working with it? Is there anything in there that's important enough to work with? Here are some of my jottings and significance. And if you want to read these fully, you can pause the video here and check them out. For this video, I'm going to be looking at the fourth jotting. This is a friend who was telling me about how she used to ice skate at night, and it was like a family memory. And I thought that's a really surreal and interesting concept, ice skating at night. Also, the significance is really easy with this one because universally important ideas like family and connection are very easy to write about and elicit a response from the reader. So once you have a topic, and I have mine, my ice skating at night one, we're going to draft it. Write your first draft without feeling bad about it. Just write it all down and don't censor yourself. Don't delete things. Just go and put everything down. Overwrite it. Do too much imagery, too much dialogue, too much setting, and you can always cut it back later. It's much easier to cut back than it is to add and expand to something. For your second draft, it depends on what style of writing you're doing. For fiction, it's all about developing full scenes, and that means in a 1,000-word limit that Lexophilia has, you have to keep a narrow scope. I would do 1, maybe 2 scenes max, but you can't write about the course of a week without making it basically summary. And that's not really what a reader feels immersed in and feels like they can experience. We don't want to read summaries. We want to feel alive and let the characters be there and act as we're watching it all unfold. For poetry, balance your imagery and your significance level. So you want to present a certain image that we can work with, and then the deeper level of significance. Most contemporary poetry, which of course you're writing, is not 100% philosophy and concept. That's your old style Victorian poetry. For creative nonfiction, let the reader enjoy your voice and your observations and your insight. Balance storytelling, kind of like fiction, with your own personal take on things, with your philosophy. So I have my ice skating at night poem that I'm working with, and I just start drafting it out. So my first draft, I'm just trying to get the concepts down, and you can see on the right side it says, what is Scott thinking during each draft? Again, if you want to look at this in more detail, feel free to pause the video. I end up in my third draft with a decent verb. I've got some specific images, and I'm starting to sort of work out how I want this to sound. There's a certain tightness in the draft 3, D3, that isn't there in the first couple of them. Okay, and there's some musicality with the parallel structure, with the adjective noun that's underlined. So I'm tightening down my language, and that's a big issue in poetry, is to tighten the language up. Don't waste your words. Don't draw a phrase out when it could be a more concise phrase. Get right to it and hit that point or hit that punctuation harder than you would in regular speech. So I continue working with my poem. Again, you can pause this and look at it in more detail. It goes through several revisions. Now it's starting to take some sort of a shape with the tercets, the groups of 3 lines, and you can see that I'm not happy with my third stanza.